Welcome to the Digital Business Evolution Podcast, a place that you can now call home. I know you're creating long-lasting impact in this world, and you absolutely deserve the time, location, career, and financial freedom that you desire. I'm here to guide you with proven strategies, tools, and mindset hacks that I've taught to thousands of business owners. You'll also be hearing from exceptional guests sharing stories of their own personal and business evolution. My name is Jessica DeRose, and I'm here to teach you what I'm learning. We are all inherently worthy, regardless of the number of degrees, awards, and accolades that we've collected along the way. Grab a notebook, a coffee, and enjoy the show. Hey, I'm jumping on real quick to let you know about a really cool opportunity to work with me completely for free. So every Tuesday, I'm offering coaching over texting. And that means the first 10 people to text me on my number and ask me a question, I'm going to coach them back completely for free. Voice memos, long form text, it 100% is me. This is the stuff that lights me up most in my business. So your questions can be anything from business to strategy, working with your spouse, RV life. Really, there are no questions off the table. You just need to make sure that you get it in quickly on Tuesdays because I am only coaching the first 10 people. So my number is 973-358-7836. This is for US numbers only. Make sure on Tuesdays you text me your questions. I'll get you your answers, and you'll be added to my text community where you're going to be getting different texts from me throughout the week. Strategies, motivation, all the things. So 973-358-7836. Can't wait to hear from you. Hello. Welcome back to the show. I'm so excited for today's episode. It is a long time coming, not just because the team and I have been talking about this and working on this and excited for this for months, but because this is stuff that I've learned over the last 10 years. And so if you've ever wanted to collapse time in your coaching business, in your entrepreneurial journey, in your journey as a business owner, today is definitely your day. So if you don't have a notebook, go grab a notebook, grab a piece of mail that's sitting around, or just use the note section of your phone. But I promise you, you're going to want to be listening and really taking notes today, because everything that I'm going to be teaching you, everything that we're going to be talking about can take your business, your income, your impact, your message, your marketing to the next level. And the reason that this is so powerful is because what we're talking about today is awareness, and it's self-awareness. And if you've been around the block with me before, if you've hung around any of my content before, if you've been in any of my coaching programs or containers, even my free containers, you have probably heard me say that your business will only grow to the extent that you grow, and that your business is a direct reflection of you. And so when we talk about that, what we're talking about is self-awareness. Awareness is the key, right? And there are so many people that have written books about how important awareness is. And so what I've recognized over the last 10 years working as an entrepreneur is that awareness is why some coaches just have it, right? We get this question all the time. Jess, why does so-and-so just have it? How come this coach is able to sell out every single program? How come this entrepreneur makes everything look so easy? How are they showing up with such unimaginable confidence? Why are these people over here doing all of these things with ease, with flow, what looks like in alignment? And it's just effortless when I'm maybe stuck on the hustle hamster wheel, or I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface of what's possible, or I know that I have something. I know that my product is great. I know that my transformation I put people through is life-changing, but not enough people know about it. Or I just struggle every time I try to create content. People just don't hear me. It's not sticking. It's not working. And so this question comes up all the time. In fact, you might have asked yourself this question, you might have asked your coach or a mentor this question, or this might just be something that's keeping you up at night, where you're laying there going, I know I have it, I don't understand. Why is it working for this person and not me? And so the self-awareness around why this is or is not working, why this is or is not happening, is going to be the first step in really you being able to move the needle. And so over the last 10 years, working as a digital marketer, a digital entrepreneur in the education space online, I've recognized, and this has taken me years to recognize this, but there are patterns, there are character traits, there are characteristics, there are aspects of people that I've been able to sort of pluck out and recognize these patterns within these people and break it down into 4 different superpowers. And so call them superpowers, call these avatars, call them archetypes. I don't mind whatever you call them. But really, I have found that all of the coaches and entrepreneurs and business owners that I've worked with fall into one of these buckets. Now, we all have the 4 different superpowers, which we'll talk about today. We all have all 4 of those elements within us. But generally, what I have noticed is that one of those superpowers is really predominant or dominant. It's like the default that we go to. It just is who we are without having to try, without having to remember, without having to become intentional. We just show up in the world in one of these superpowers. And so the team and I have put a quiz together called What's Your Coaching Superpower? And if you haven't taken it, I don't want you to pause the episode and leave. I want you to listen to the episode, but make sure that after you definitely go take this. So the link is in the show notes. It's a super simple quiz. Honestly, there's only 9 questions. It takes you about 60 seconds to figure out what your coaching superpower is. And figuring this out could be the thing that you're actually missing in your business. It could be the thing that's keeping you feeling stuck. It could be the thing that is why you're not seeing the result that you wish you were seeing. Because when you know your coaching superpower and you know what is unique and proprietary to you, and you have that awareness, well, now you can harness the strengths, which are your superpower, and you can also help yourself navigate those blind spots. Knowing this is going to help you create more of a holistic awareness or a holistic approach to your business, ultimately giving you the competitive advantage that maybe your peers don't have, or just giving you a competitive advantage so that you feel more confident and you feel more lit up, more in alignment, more excited. And of course, this will help you magnetize your dream clients, all of your financial goals, anything that might be that you're striving for because of that alignment and that understanding. And so knowing right here at the very beginning, knowing what your coaching superpower is simply going to help you understand yourself more deeply. And if you've been around the block with me, you know I've said it a million times. I say it all the time, but our business is a direct reflection of us, and it will only grow to the extent that we grow. And sometimes that stings, and sometimes that's hard. But when you continue on the path of growth, which I know you are into because you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you weren't, when you continue on that path of growth and you continue learning about yourself and how you work and how you see the world and through what lens, what colored lens you are looking, well, then you're of course only going to be able to amplify your own voice and message. You're going to be able to elevate your impact and income. You're going to be able to expand your reach and the leads that you're bringing in. So let's dive in. I'm not going to tell you too much about the different avatars because we could talk about that for hours, but I am going to tell you the names of the 4 different coaching superpowers. And I'll tell you which one I am. And then you, of course, are going to take the quiz to figure out which one you are. Again, it's like a 60-second quiz. So we have found, after 10 years in this space, scaling our business, my business, the company, to multiple 7 figures, working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs and coaches, working with people from the startup stages all the way to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures. We've worked with people who have 0 Instagram followers, 0 social media pages, like they didn't even start, to people that are coming in as quote unquote influencers who already have 300,000 followers and just aren't sure how to monetize. We've worked with solopreneurs, people just hustling and wearing all the hats, and we've worked with entrepreneurs who have teams. So over the years, working with all of these different people, trying many different business models on ourselves and helping clients try on different business models and working with all of these people being in the trenches, we have recognized these 4 superpowers. So are you ready? I feel like I need to do a drum roll. Okay. Superpower number 1, and these are not in any order, I'm just telling you what they are. Superpower number 1 is the dreamer. And again, I'm not going to tell you much about these people or what these avatars mean and what it could look like in your business, but I am going to tell you just the basics. So we've got the dreamer. The second one is the innovator. The innovator. Then we have the authority. Number 3 would be the authority. And then finally, we have the enthusiast. And so you can make all the assumptions that you want right now, that you think you know which one you are, and you can make all the assumptions that you think you know what it means about you. But until you would actually take the quiz, I'm going to caution you, be mindful of the stories that you create, because we are meaning-making machines, and humans love to make meaning of everything. So until you take the quiz, try your very best not to make it mean anything about you. Try not to pick which one of the four you are, but instead just be open to receiving the information that I'm about to give you. So something that I know to be true is that how we show up in life and how we operate in our business are very similar things. And how we do those things are often on cruise control. So while we try our very best to show up with intention all the time, most of the time we're on autopilot. And we've talked about this before, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but some crazy amount of thoughts that we think every single day. We think, dozens, hundreds of thousands of thoughts per day. Many of them are negative. Most of them are negative. And some crazy number, like 80 or 90% of the thoughts that we think today are actually thoughts that we thought yesterday. And so this is where Dr. Joe Dispenza's quote comes in. Your familiar past will sooner or later become your predictable future. Listen to that one again. And I don't have the quote in front of me, but Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your familiar past will sooner or later become your predictable future. Meaning the things that you thought, then the things that you did and the habits that you had, if you're doing them over and over and over, well, of course, that's going to become your future. So when we're on this cruise control in our business and in our life, the way that we're just normally doing things is how we're typically going to continue doing them. Therefore, you're going to continue getting the result that you've always gotten, which is why so many people get stuck on the hamster wheel. That frustration, that feeling like I'm just working harder, I'm doing more and more and more, but I'm not seeing what I want, right? Because we're doing a lot of the same things. And that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So when we're talking here about this coaching superpower, this isn't just a fun quiz. I mean, it has a cute name, right? But we're not just talking about some random quiz, go take it, good luck, have fun. There's a lot of depth here. Because when you can see what your strengths are and your weaknesses, or your blind spots, as we like to call them, then you can better prepare yourself for potential challenges. You can better prepare yourself for hiring, right? They tell you all the time, don't hire someone that's just like you. Don't hire someone who's good at the things that you're good at. Naturally, we're drawn to people who are like us. Like attracts like. So when you go to hire someone, it's very easy to love somebody because they're just like you. They talk like you, they act like you, they make you laugh, they make you super comfortable, they get your jokes, they work how you work. Maybe you're a visionary. Maybe you're an integrator. If you're not sure, you should definitely go read the books Rocket Fuel and Traction, because again, self-awareness is key here. Knowing yourself is so important. But a lot of times, a visionary is attracted to another visionary. And when you get two visionaries together, more often than not, now you're floating up in the sky together with all these ideas and these visions, and you don't have someone to kind of bring you back down on earth. And that's a generalization. But that's actually Mike and I. Mike's a visionary as well. We both are. And so we could have all these ideas and these downloads and be up in the clouds all the time. But until we have someone say like, hey, that's not really reality right now. Let's look at our project management timeline. I'm not sure where this is going to go. It's a little bit of a popping of the bubble. But until we have someone help sort of bring us back down to earth, we're busy flying around in the sky. And so we want to be mindful of hiring people that are too similar and making sure that we're really filling the roles that need to be filled rather than the ones that feel comfortable. So that's just one example of a potential challenge or a potential default that you might slip into because it's comfortable. Humans generally will take the path of least resistance. We like to go down the same path over and over and over, even if it's boring, even if it's monotonous, even if we know it, because we know it. And so because we know it, because we're familiar with it, then there's less room for error. There's less room for danger. It's not as scary. It's not unknown. It doesn't feel stretchy. It's comfortable. So as much as it's uncomfortable because it might feel boring, it's comfortable. And so I'm going to give you an analogy for a second. It's like when we're driving to work and you've been driving to the office the same exact way for 10 years. You drive to the office, you go down the same roads, and you're basically asleep. You're basically half asleep at the wheel. You've been there. I know you have. This happened to me all the time when I went to school, when I was driving to work. And you get there, you park the car, and you almost have a moment of like, whoa, how did I get here today? Like, that's scary. I know you know what I mean. Like, oh my God, I don't even know how I got here, but here I am. Okay, I guess I should go into the office right now. Until there's a day where you're driving and a car in front of you slams on their brakes, or a tree falls right in front of your car, like a big branch falls from a storm. And that right there, boom, wakes you up. Causes you to slam on your brakes, your central nervous system fires and wires, you're totally awake, your heart is pounding, you start sweating, you're grabbing the steering wheel tighter, and you're like, whoa, oh my gosh, I should pay attention. And now the rest of the drive, you're sort of leaning into the wheel, your eyes are big and wide, and you're holding onto that wheel nice and tight. I should pay attention. So it's not until there's a pattern interrupt or something changes that you almost don't wake up because you're on cruise control. Your familiar past will sooner or later become your predictable future. This is how we approach business and life. This is how we approach conversations. This is how we approach relationships. And so again, this is what we're talking about when we say self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is key because you can only grow what you measure. Hey, I'm jumping in to tell you about our newest free tool, a tool that will change the way you approach your business. After working in digital marketing and the coaching space for nearly 10 years, working with thousands, scaling to multiple seven figures, and helping our clients generate over $11 million in revenue, I've recognized a pattern from all of the most successful coaches and entrepreneurs. They all have an awareness that struggling business owners don't have. You see, they know their unique coaching superpower. After taking this quiz, you'll uncover which of the 4 superpowers runs through your DNA. This awareness will help you discover your personal strengths and blind spots so that you can succeed faster, make a bigger impact, and exponentially grow your income. To take this free quiz, just head on over to jessglazer.com/quiz, and you'll be on your way to harnessing your superpower in minutes. Don't forget to share it and let me know which superpower you have. Tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. If we don't measure it, we can't grow it, right? If we don't measure it, we can't grow it. We talk about this all the time with metrics in our business. We can only measure what we can grow. We can only grow what we can measure. And so we want to make sure that we're able to measure things, of course, in the business, like lead generation and conversion numbers and sales and revenue and EPL and CPL and LTV, right? All these acronyms that your head might be spinning right now. If it is, just shoot me a DM and I'll happily put together a podcast episode about all of these acronyms. Just let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But I digress. When you know those numbers, it's easy to make tweaks in the business to increase those numbers or decrease those numbers, whatever the goal may be. Now, when you're looking at yourself and you're becoming more aware of yourself, you might not have these hard stop numbers, but rather patterns, strengths, blind spots. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about being able to measure them. So a blind spot could be perceived as a weakness, but a weakness doesn't have to be negative. A weakness doesn't have to be a challenge. A weakness doesn't have to be taboo. A weakness doesn't even necessarily need to be an area that you should grow or that you should focus on. I think it'd be great for you to focus on a weakness, but also maybe that's just a place where you hire. Maybe it is an opportunity for growth. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to slow down. All of the feedback that we get around our business, the numbers, ourself, it's just neutral. It's neutral feedback. And so what can you do with that feedback? How can you utilize that feedback? And having awareness around something like a weakness could just be a really good storyteller. It could be a really good indicator that, yeah, maybe it's a place to hire someone. Maybe it's time to put more focus in this particular area. Maybe it's time for you to go take a course or read a book or learn something about this particular area. But until you have an awareness of it, you can't get to the next step. And so whether this is a strength or a weakness, again, it's not bad. Awareness is the first step. And there really are 3 steps that I want you to take. This is a 3-step formula. Every area of your business, every area of your life, you can plug this formula in. And it's the 3 A's. So the first one is awareness. Second one is acceptance. And the third one is action. So having that awareness of, wow, these are my strengths. These are my blind spots. Here's a potential challenge coming up. Here's something that I tend to do over and over and over. Like as much as I don't want to do it, I'm waking up every day and the first thing I do is I scroll on Instagram. And it makes me feel like garbage. And I know better because I've read all the studies and I've heard all the people say not to do that. I am aware that I shouldn't do that, but yet I keep doing it. Partially because I'm addicted to it and partially because it's not painful enough to stop. It's like enough that it is painful, but it's not painful enough. There's this old story. I don't know if it's a legend, a story, or myth, or whatever, a fable, but there's this story of a man and his dog. And maybe you've heard this. I'm going to tell you the story real quickly. And it goes something like this. There's a man and his dog, and they're sitting on the front porch of his house. And he's an old dog, and he just kind of lays there. And this other man is walking past the house every day. He's on his way to work, right? Same old half asleep walking to work. And every day he walks by, he hears the dog moaning and groaning and weeping and crying. Every single day, day after day, this poor dog is just weeping, but he never moves. He's just laying on the front porch crying and weeping. And one morning the man walks by and he can't help himself. He stops and he says to the guy sitting on the porch in the rocking chair, "Sir, what's the matter with your dog? Every day he's just crying. He's just crying. The poor thing. Is he okay?" And the man sitting in the rocking chair says, "Yeah, he's fine. He's just sitting on a nail." "What? He's sitting on a nail?" "Yeah, he's sitting on a nail." So the guy who walks past every day says, "Well, why doesn't he get up? Why is he sitting on a nail? Why doesn't he get up? Is he stuck?" And the man in the rocking chair said, "No, it just doesn't hurt enough. It just doesn't hurt enough." So he lays there. And a lot of us are doing that. A lot of us are doing that with habits, with relationships, with beliefs, old beliefs and stories that we tell ourselves. We let them sit there. We let them be a part of our life because they're just not painful enough. So I use this example like getting on Instagram in the morning and scrolling, and you shouldn't do it, and I say that in quotes, and you don't like it, and it doesn't feel good, but it's almost not painful enough. And so when I talk about having an awareness isn't enough. I say it all the time, awareness is the key, but having awareness isn't enough. And the next step isn't even doing something about it. There's a step in between, which I said was acceptance. So once you become aware of your thought pattern, or you become aware of the strength, or you become aware of the weakness, now I want you to move into acceptance. Getting to a place where you fully accept what is. Accept it without judgment. Accepting yourself or a situation, but judging isn't fully accepting. So can you get to a place in your life where you can really, truly accept what is, what has happened, the choices you've made, the way that you show up, without guilt, without shame, without fear, without judgment, without resentment, just as is. It's neutral. Okay, I have awareness of these things, these thoughts, these habits, these patterns, my strengths, my weaknesses, and I fully accept. I love and accept them for what they are. I love and accept myself for what I am. In fact, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of even having that awareness. And I'm okay with accepting. Once you've accepted, now we can go to stage 3. Step 3 is taking action. So once we have the awareness, then we accept what is. And now we can finally take action. Now, of course, I want it to be an aligned action. And of course, if you know anything about me, I want it to be messy action because there's no such thing as perfectionism. Now, taking action, the third part of this step, is going to be the thing that helps you actually move the needle. It's going to be the thing that helps you make the decisions moving forward. It's going to decipher, do you go right or left? What are the aligned strategies? Do you need to do more or less? Do you need to hire? Do you need to fire? What are the next steps for you to get there? How do you reverse engineer the thing that you want to create? And so the 3 A's, again, just to review, is the whole reason I've put this quiz together. The whole entire reason that I've put this quiz together for you, which is free, is so that you can understand your unique coaching superpower. Even if you're not a coach. We use the word coach as a verb here. It's an action. And we are all coaches to one another. So even if you're not technically what you think of as a coach, you're not running a coaching business, you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a business owner, you still are a coach in your life. We all are coaches for each other. We're all teachers for each other. We're all mentors for each other. We're all leaders for one another. So you could be acting as a coach in your home life or at work or with family members, just as you can be acting as a teacher or a mentor to the people around you as well. Heck, even if you just use social media for fun, you don't run a business and you're just on there posting for fun without even knowing it, you are coaching, teaching, and mentoring other people. You are aspiring and inspiring other people. You're motivating other people just by the way that you show up and how you be. So again, knowing your coaching superpower is going to be massive for you then to be able to take those next 3 steps. Having an awareness of those strengths and weaknesses without judgment, which means you accept what is, and then you actually take action, messy action, fast, messy, aligned action. There's an ownership that happens when you can expand on your authority superpowers or your innovator superpowers or your dreamer superpowers or your enthusiast superpowers, as well as navigate the blind spots and the challenges that might be coming up or coming down the pipeline. So I can't talk highly enough about this quiz. Of course, I'm biased. We created it, but we didn't just create a quiz, like I said, for fun. We didn't just create a quiz where you're going to get your answer and that's the be all end all. We created stuff to give you tools and resources, checklists and podcasts, books and trainings so that you can actually learn more about yourself and then you can integrate it into your life, into your relationships, and into your business. So like I said, you can expand those things. You can elevate those things. You can magnify those things, and you can magnetize the things that you want more of. So we've got those 4 avatars. We've got the superpowers of a dreamer, of an innovator, of an authority, and of an enthusiast. All 4 of those superpowers come with, of course, strengths and weaknesses. They come with things that you're intuitively and just naturally good at and drawn to, as well as areas that might require you to do a little bit more work, to hold up the magnifying glass, to look a little bit deeper, to slow down so that you can speed up. I would love if you head over and take the quiz. The link is in the show notes. It is a free quiz. Like I said, it's about 60 seconds, 90 seconds max. There's only 9 questions. And the interesting thing with this quiz is that if you were to take it today, 6 months from now, or 2 years from now, you might actually get different answers. And the reason why is when we take quizzes like this, when we take personality tests like this, our answers are based on how we perceive ourselves. Our answers are often based on what we think we should be saying. So I'm going to encourage you and challenge you right now to get as honest as possible with yourself before you start this quiz. Start the 3-step process before you start the quiz of having an awareness of where you are right now, today, and where you're not, accepting where you are today and where you're not, and taking action by answering the questions based on where you are today, not where you want to go, not who you think you're supposed to be, not how you think you're supposed to be showing up. Because if you do, you might not be getting the truest answer. You might be getting the answer that you think you want, but that ultimately isn't going to be the most helpful tool or resource for you. So I would love to share with you which I am, but I don't know if I'm going to. Should I do it? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to share it with you today. In fact, I will only share with you if you share with me. So I'll show you yours when you show me I'll show you mine when you show me yours, right? Go ahead and take that quiz. Let me know. Tag me on social media. Put it up. Tag the world. Let us know if you're an innovator, a dreamer, an authority, or an enthusiast. And be sure, after you do take the quiz, to check your inbox, because we are going to be sending you all sorts of tools and resources so that you can truly harness your superpowers and navigate some of those things that might feel challenging for you. That way, you'll be able to be one of those coaches, one of those business owners, one of those entrepreneurs, or just someone in your life that other people look at and go, how in the world? Why does it always look so easy? And we both know it's not always so easy. But I want to get you off of that hamster wheel of hustle and struggle and frustration and disappointment. And I want you to step into your superpower because you have one. We all do. So last time I'm going to say, go ahead and join that quiz. Check the show notes. Let me know which superpower is yours. And as always, if you liked this episode, please, 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 it would mean the world to me if you took a screenshot of it, shared it out on social, tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were. Definitely let me know what your quiz result is. And until next time, cheers to your evolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.